Hi, this is Sharon, and today we are going to be talking about what your parents taught you about money and what your parents probably knows about money, because a lot of the times there are reasons why our parents is not talking to us about money. One is they probably think we're too young. The other is that money is such a taboo subject around the dinner table or the dining room table or the coffee table. But in my opinion, money is part of growing up and it should be one of the things that your parents teach you. So, like one of the things that parents always teach their kids is to swim down here in Florida, how to ride a bike. Well, finances is one of the things that they should include. It's actually more important than the bike. I don't know about the swimming. I think swimming is up there, but especially down here in Florida, but definitely more important than the bike. So, one of the things I think a lot of the times our parents don't talk to us about money is one of the problems is most of the times they're not financially savvy themselves. So it's kind of hard for them to teach you. And sometimes the advice they give you, it might not be what it should be because they don't have all the they have not learned all the financial tools to be financial savvy themselves. But fear not, today we are going to discuss this, today and the next video. So, because this is going to be a two-part video, we're going to be discussing things that your parents should have taught you, and whether they've taught it to you or not. I'm going to be the parent that teaches it to you this week. So let's go on and talk about that. So, you don't want to have to continue to struggle with money. So if your parents are struggling with money, you don't want to be in that. Society and data shows that we sometimes our class in society is something that's repetitive. So it's hard to come out from one class if you're used to being in there. So poverty especially is repetitive. If you're born in poverty, your likelihood to continue in poverty is there. That's what the data says. In my opinion, I'm an immigrant girl again with my dad who came to this country in poverty and lived in the Boogie Down Bronx. So I know what it's like to live in poverty, and I'm telling you that I'm not doing it right now. So if you have the will and the way in an American society, you are able to get out of poverty. I'm living proof of that. So I'm going to give you, between the next two videos, 10 tips on what your parents should have taught you if they didn't teach you when it comes to financial matters. And we're going to start with my first tip. My first tip is investing when you're young is crucial. In today's society, I started my older son with his first account at 14. My younger son, maybe I think we started around the same age because that's when the banks were allowing it. In today's society, the banks are allowing you to have your savings account or your account as young as, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. So whenever it's time, you need to start your bank account. And, so don't wait. Start investing when you're much older. Yes, start when it's time. You start as soon as possible. So my oldest son started his investment account at 18. I think that was when they allowed me to get him a broker account and for him to start playing around in the stock market. My youngest son started at 16. We had his account open. Actually, we had an account open when he was 15. He didn't really start working on it because that account didn't work the way it was, didn't work out for us. So I got him his trading account with $1,000 in it at 16 years old, and he's buying stocks, he's researching his companies, he's understanding what he's doing. Of course, before we did that with both of my children, we've talked about the stock market. We've talked about the economy. We've talked about companies that you should be investing in. We're talking about the health of the company. We're talking about all those different things that you need to know before you start playing around a little bit in the market. You start playing around with a little bit of money and then you watch it grow. It's just so more times than none, as you grow, your compounded interest is in there. You start investing, the sooner, the better it is. So, even if it's $10 a month. So, even if you're putting in your allowance or your public's bag money or whatever it is, you want to start investing as early as possible. So, whatever that timing is, and it's easier than anytime now with the internet for you to be able to find banks or find broker house that you can open your accounts on the internet, that you're able to do that. You might, if you're starting younger, need your parents permission to do that, but that's when you can educate your parents, because if they don't know enough to help you, maybe you know more to help them, so you can start there. The second thing we need to talk about is you don't need to go out to have fun. So I'm sure your parents have taught you that you don't need to go out to expensive places or costly places to have fun. Many people think that they have to leave their house to have fun, or they have to go do fancy things to have fun. But it doesn't take a lot to have fun. You can stay in and watch movies. You can play games. If you have a pool, if you have a lake, you can go bike riding. You can do all those things. Even going out, you can do fun things when you're going out. We were so poor when we were younger, but every weekend we were doing something. Every weekend, my dad wanted us to do something. My father loved fishing. So every weekend, he would want to go fishing. We hated fishing. Me and my two sisters hated fishing. I purposely started planning parks, games with other families, fruit picking. Fruit picking was one of my favorite things when I was a teenager, when I was younger, because it didn't cost much money. We would just have to drive to whichever farm or whatever was in season, and that's what we did to have fun. So there's many things you can do, have fun, watch movies, do potluck dinners. There are so many different things that you can do. Be creative on things that you want to have fun. You don't have to, that has positive impact on finances. You don't have to be, everywhere where social media says everybody is to have fun. One of the other things the third thing that I would tell you about money is build mental awareness. Using cards to make payments reinforces the idea that cash can be bottomless. Well, in today's society, we have to learn how to use our credit. We have to be disciplined on how we do things. Everything that you do, you have to be disciplined in doing it, or else it's going to get away from you. It's going to run away from you. Too much of anything is no good, no matter if it's something good. If you have too much iron and rich food, you might get constipation. So you want to make sure that you are being moderate and you are being disciplined when you're doing stuff. Understand how to budget. So build your mental awareness, which is your money mindset when it has to do with when it has to do with your finances. Have the proper money mindset. Understand what your hiccups are with finances. Understand when you are using a credit card, it is not a luxury. It is a responsibility to use a credit card. So make sure that you're taking the responsibility very seriously. You're including it within your budget. You're tracking what you're spending, and you understand what you're doing with your money. So, when I started my kids off, I started them off with debit cards. Debit cards, because you want to make sure that they understand that cash using a card is not a bottomless pit. So you want to make sure that you understand that when you're using cards, it's important for you to still budget yourself, still understand that this is a temporary placeholder for the cash that you have to pay this card off. So that's why I started the kids with little debit cards with just that one account. That was one of the times that I let them use debit cards, is to practice how to understand using their cash, practice how to understand that a card is just a placeholder. So the next thing, the fourth thing I'm going to tell you about is paying your credit cards off when they're due. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go a little further. When your parents were younger, or your parents were dealing with the credit society. Maybe it was the bills used to come in the mail, or it was a one-time thing with wealth. Today, you guys use your card for everything. So you want to make sure that you pay your cards when you get paid. Pay your cards when you get paid. Pay your cards every week if possible. Pay your cards as many times so you can, pay it whenever you can. So there's not surprises. Your card will also have historicals of what's happening, what you did, what you spend. You can compare this month to last month. That's the beauty of using a card, is because you can use your historical numbers. You can look back and see what you spend on certain things. You can add up, okay, I spent this much on coffee, this much on this much on that. So that's all part of your financial literacy journey, is to going back and looking at what your habits are, understanding your good and bad habits, and combating your bad habits when it comes to finances. So you're there to do that. So also, you want to make sure, the fifth thing that I will tell you about is think before you buy something. Oh, we all have to do this. We have to do this all of our lives. I get caught in this all the time. This on my journey, I am always retail therapying things, but I've learned little things to help me along the way. Impulse buying is one of the biggest budget killer in financial literacy, in the world, in anything. Impulse buying is such a big no-no. So you want to make sure that you're thinking about, what is it that you really need? What is it that you really want? And you have to remember that when you buy something impulsively, it's going to take away money from you buying things that you really want and you really need, and a more of a quality time things that you're looking to. So you want to make sure that you are not impulse buying. You want to make sure that your necessities, if you are on an impulse to buy, put your stuff in your cart for 24 hours. I do that all the time. I put the stuff in my cart and I leave it there. Then I think about it. I'm like, okay, do I have a dress like that? Why would I want to buy another dress? I don't really need that. I could alter the dress that I already have. So you have to convince yourself that you don't really need whatever it is, or you absolutely need it, but don't lie to yourself. Do not lie to yourself, because it's horrible when we start believing our own lies, especially when it comes to money. So this is the end of this part of our video. We're going to continue with our next 5 things that your parents should have taught you about finances. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, feel free to give me a follow to get updated on new and upcoming episodes, and listen in every Tuesday and Thursday, where I teach you smart money habits so you can make better money choices with a financial goal focus.